What do you think the barriers are for agencies? Whether they're internal barriers or the barriers with clients, or now if you look at the way things are going, the exponential speed with how things are changing, with the other stakeholders, the researchers and everyone else involved, what are the day-to-day barriers? You've been CEO of one of the most successful agencies in the UK. From your perspective, going from a planner to a CEO and experiencing the brand side, you could say, of the agency and the business side of the agency, and how that relates to just demonstrating success and leveraging it.
I think agencies have not done themselves any great favours by, over time, not pricing what they do properly, by giving away a lot of what they do for free. And as a result, the business model has got more and more squeezed, and we're hiring ever more junior people and giving them less time to do stuff. And I think that means that it's much harder for a kind of 20-something planner without any great kind of access to data to go into the boardroom and have a conversation with the CEO, as compared to, say, somebody from Facebook or McKinsey's. So I'd talk about both of those two kind of as the threats from either side. The beer moths that have access to, the Borg, whether it is the data of a Facebook or the kind of alumni network of the big consultancies. And agencies haven't managed to do either of those two things, which makes it very tough for them.
Ajay?
I think, I do agree with that. And just to kind of go a bit further along that, I think when I think about why that is, to me, I can't help but think, I got into this business 22 years ago. So I feel that the whole equation and currency of trust was quite different than what it is now. And, our business is quite an old business. And most of us have been conditioned to do, like I said, the best thing for the client in that moment and overextend to make good by them, please them, make them happy, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes was the mantra. And you won trust by a demonstration of how much effort you put in and how much you reach. And to your point, just how much you almost devalue yourselves. And I think what's happened now is that there are a lot more people in the game, and the equation and the currency of trust is actually a lot more transactional now, where it is, what is the real impact you're having on my business, and how are you helping me get more money in the boardroom for my brands, and how are you helping move the market? So I think we're just in a stage of transition. We're moving from that context into this new, much more transactional delivery of value context, and I think that's part of why it's difficult. It's a legacy that we're also kind of working with. That's how I feel. But I think we've got the right skills. But again, I don't think we have enough money to invest in those skills, to Lucy's point. So it's a bit of a vicious cycle, I feel.
It is, and I just want to kind of get a bit more micro on that, Brian. From your perspective, it's one of the reasons why within agencies, we'll come to marketing in a moment, the way things are, or the way they're going, is it because of the fragmentation within agencies between the three front office functions maybe? Do you think client services and creative needs to be as involved as planning is or should be? Is there a streamlining that needs to take place in terms of understanding what value is? Or do you think that's already happening and it's something else that agencies need to do? What are the things they need to do to get better at this game in this arena?
I don't think if you talk to many planners, they would dispute the importance of this. I think to what Harjit was saying, there's just a lot of other things you're also responsible for. And I think to the point about fragmentation, I think, we have the industry's in turmoil. The state of marketing is in turmoil, the state of media is in turmoil, agencies are a bit in turmoil. So I do think we're in a stage where probably, we're lacking focus. We're trying to learn a lot of new skills, learn a lot about technology, learn a lot about media, about distribution systems. So in some senses, it may be just, it's not off the radar, but it's one of many things we have to worry about. Like Harjit was saying, I think we are kind of often just a reflection of our client cultures. And one of the things I've noticed, it's hard to generalize, but I think certainly as more and more companies have globalized, that the clients themselves are quite often quite distant from the business of measurement and business impact. So in some of I deal mostly with global clients. In some of those clients, they are not in control of local or regional budgets. They don't decide what media gets spent where and when. They don't have access to the data. They don't know, and frankly, in many cases, don't care very much about the business impact of what they're doing. They're basically incentivized to deliver communications, and if they can deliver a qualified link test and a bit of point of sale material, they've done their job. So they're not actually even tracing what happens to that material. Did the markets pick it up? Was it bought? Did it run? What happened when it did run? So I think my point is that often it's, I think clients also have a lot of other distractions, and in many cases are quite distanced from measurement themselves and from the business impact.